What up, cut up? Welcome to this special Black Love episode of A Poor Excuse for a Podcast. I am your host, Nathan McDougall, author of A Poor Excuse for a Book, a collection of short stories from a relatively unknown author of some mediocre skill. I am that unknown author. The mediocre skills are mine. And with me today, I have my high school sweetheart, my wife, Marsha McDougall.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, welcome to the podcast. Marsha is normally behind the camera doing all the videography, hooking up the edits and the transition and doing all of that. But for this very special, like I said, Black Love episode, she done came on the other side of the camera and she's going to recap chapter 6 with us. Hey, love. So stay with us and don't miss it. It's going to be fun.
Every time we link up, it's a hit. And every time we pull up, what's up? We with the shit. And every time we roll up, it's the spliff. A niggas try to hold up, you getting hit. Bang. Don't take it personally, this may not work for you. I keep that burner with me, might end up hurting you. Physically, I ate the track. Verbally, I state the facts. Herbally, I smoke the best. Change the game, keep the rest. Money make a mindset. Penny to a dime set. Flip a Michael Kors from a motherfucking time mix. Hustle, that's my nature.
Hey, welcome back to episode 6 of A Poor Excuse for a Podcast. This is Hey Love with me and Marcia. So today's episode actually discusses a chapter in the book in which I detail how me and Marcia first met in high school, which is an interesting story because me and Marcia were introduced to each other by an English teacher by the name of Mrs. Poor. And we actually are still in contact with this teacher. She's still a part of our lives. We still talk to her.
Very sweet.
Yeah, very sweet, very funny. She's still like the same person that she was when we were in high school. Mm-hmm. And so we both kind of were introduced to Miss Poor in different ways. Mm-hmm. So, Marsha, how did you kind of come into your relationship with Mrs. Poor?
So I first met Mrs. Poor when I decided to join forensics, which is what is talked about in the story. And so I've always tried to, or always wanted to be an actress. Basically, that was my, what do you want to be when you grow up? It was always an actress. And I decided to join forensics at high school so I can practice on my acting, basically. And she was the forensics coach at high school.
And forensics for us, so like not forensic science like CSI, but forensics for us in high school was like drama and debate.
Yeah.
Like molded into one. Like, so she was the forensics teacher coach. Yeah. And so you were like attracted to that program. Mrs. Poor joined our school or came to our school our junior year when me and you were in the 11th grade. And I, on the other hand, had no interest in forensics. I was in an English class with an English teacher that I really liked. And then we got this new English teacher that had come and they needed to split the classes up. And then this new teacher came in and it was a younger teacher and she had like this real stern look and she came in with her arms crossed and it was like all the names that we call, you're going to go to Mrs. Poor's class. Okay. And I was like, man, they better not call my name. I'm great. I got a guaranteed A in the class. I got Dr. Taliba. We got an understanding. She know me. I know her. It's all good. And they said Nathan McDougall. I was like, man, nah, this ain't no. So I get dragged out of one class, kicking and screaming, and I go into Mrs. Poor's class. So I got resentment and anger in my heart, and I give her so much trouble, and she kicked me out of class every other day because I play and joke.
Oh wow!
And then eventually, we get past each other's hard shells.
Yeah.
And we become friends because she's younger. You've mentioned before, she's like a younger teacher. And she's approachable and easy to talk to and fun. And we develop a really good relationship. And she tells me, you should join the forensics team. And I'm like, okay. And
so was she, when she told you that, was she trying to play matchmaker at that time, or did she just want you to join the forensics team?
Well, so I play all day in high school. I'm rarely ever serious. I'm always joking around. I was trying to say something funny, and she was like, "You need a girl to make you more mature, to mature you up, to grow you up. So you just need to meet a girl who will make you become more mature." And I was like, I can't nobody make me more mature.
Dang, you was not like that. You was not like that.
Miss Paul, I'm out here. Can't nobody make me more mature.
Oh my God.
I'm wireless. And she was like, I'm gonna find somebody for you. That's what she said first. So she was already in matchmaker mode. Okay. And she would be like, oh, let me introduce you. I'm like, no. And she'd be like, oh, let me tell you. Nah. And so I was just being
silly.
Difficult, to her. And then she was like, I need you to join the forensics team. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. And but Mrs. Poor becomes like a second mother. And like sometimes people ask me to do stuff, I'll tell them and I have no intentions on doing it. So she asked me to join forensics. I was like, oh yeah, I'll be glad to. But I really had no intentions on going to practice. And one day she was like, Nathan, forensics now. And I was like, oh man, caught me. And that just so happened to be the day that you were in the library waiting for us to get there. And on our way to the library, after she had already established herself as matchmaker, she said, Marsha's going to be there, but, you're too childish and immature for her. So she's too mature for you. So y'all probably wouldn't be a good match, but y'all can do this project together. And I was like, oh, okay, good. So there's no expectations. I'm glad that we got that off the bat, that I'm not going to be doing no work and I'm not expected to be serious. So that's good that we got that understanding. And then when I got into the library, I see this PYT, this pretty young thing. I was like, oh, okay. This forensic thing might work. I think somebody like, no, we got to go to track pad. I'm like, no, I got to do forensics. I'll holler at you later. I got to go to forensics practice.
Which is crazy. How did we, because you ran track, I ran track. This is our junior year at this point. Like, how had we never met before this? Like,
because Coach Horton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still,
he was very protective of the girls' track team.
I know, but still, you would think that, if you.
Yeah, I think that you would bump into each other. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Spurco's not that big.
Right. So you would think we would have ran into each other.
But probably passed each other in the hallways and just never.
Yeah.
Had never thought of it. But so I go into the library and this girl sitting there and she looks up, big grin, and I'm like, oh man, okay, forensics are gonna be okay. It's gonna be cool. And Miss Poor makes some kind of comment, makes a joke, and I make like a witty remark back, and Marcia burst out laughing, and she laughed at my joke, and I was like, oh man. I am locked in. This is good. I'm good to go.
Because I laughed at your joke.
Because you laughed at my joke. Yes. That's all it took. So, yeah. From then on, it was how she wrote.
Okay. Which shows you, it goes to show you how big guys' egos are. Because, I mean, yeah, that's ego crazy. Boost. But anyway, so when you first walked in, at that point I was thinking, man, I've never met him before, but I thought, wow, he is really cute. I don't really know who this is. And I like Mrs. Poor. Like you said, Mrs. Poor was very likable. Younger teacher, not as old as some of the other teachers. So she kind of reminded you of like a big sister / second mother / just, I don't know, just best friend, but also teacher.
Right.
So it's like she kind of was all of those things
Right.
in one person.
Right.
So Mrs. Poor comes in with this cute guy, and I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess he's on the forensic team. But yeah, so I mean that whole interaction
And it was funny.
the joke,
Right.
the joke was really good. Right.
Funny, handsome,
Funny,
Total
handsome,
package.
right? So yeah. Oh my gosh.
So from there, and we kind of like, this is recap and just the relationship in itself.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of we are assigned a project for forensics, which kind of lumps us together, and we are working together now, and we are kind of building this relationship. And even when we step out of forensics, we have already kind of had this chemistry, and so we've kind of honed in on each other. So Mrs. Poor puts us together for a forensics team, and she gives us the play. She gives us a scene from a play to study and prepare for our first forensics meet. And the scene from the play is August Wilson's Fences, which Denzel and Viola Davis
Just did.
And
Viola won an Oscar.
too bad they didn't do it then, so we could have just bit their whole style. Because all we did was look at each other and laugh and giggle.
Yeah.
When it was time to rehearse our lines.
Yeah. It was funny because, I mean, we obviously had a crush on each other.
Right.
And we liked to flirt.
Right.
And I'm sure Mrs. Poor saw this and she was just like, probably like, oh, I'm the matchmaker.
Right.
And I'm just going to let them,
Right. Well, I think a couple of times she was like, guys, you got to get serious.
Oh, yeah, maybe
and we
she
were
did.
like,
Maybe she did. But anyway, I don't think we ever really, before the meet, nailed it. I think we just...
Not one time.
So, yeah.
Not once. And then we get to the meet, and for those who've never been to a forensics meet, which is probably 90% of the population, you go to a school. We go to a different school. You go inside the school. You go to a classroom, like depending on what your event is, you go to a classroom.
Oh my gosh.
And our event is like a 2-person scene.
Yeah.
So we go to a classroom, and everybody else who has the event of 2-person scene is in that classroom as well.
So serious.
And then the judges are in there also.
Yeah.
And those are the only people there. There are no spectators at forensics
just
meet.
the teachers
Just the
and the
teacher.
participants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And our teacher's not there. She's at some other...
Oh, she wasn't there?
No, she was not in the room.
Oh my gosh, no wonder.
She was not in the room with
No
us.
wonder. Where was she at?
She
drove us there though, right?
Yeah, she was one of the other students at one of their other events.
Oh.
And I believe so. She will correct us.
She
if
wasn't
I'm
there.
wrong.
Okay.
And
because she probably would have been looking at us from the audience like, what are you guys doing?
So we go into the room. Everybody's all tense, and they're like serious actors. And classically trained actors.
And in walks these inner city kids.
Yeah, so we walk in like we're actors as well. And we walk in, we ain't acknowledging them, and we go sit amongst ourselves, and we have to get ready for our scene. And
but super nervous, like my stomach is turning. Yeah.
But I play football, so you're not allowed to show. You got to be you are beneath me. You're terrible actors, and so we go and sit in our corner, and we just looking at each other like, we're about to destroy y'all with this acting. And we get up to do our scene, and we giggle and stumble and fumble our way through the entire thing. It is an embarrassment to actors all over.
It was horrible,
And which is sad because Marcia is an actor.
Yes, like I take acting seriously. Like I did plays in high school. I did plays at church. I did actually. Do you remember when I took that theater camp? Like I was so even in high school. So my mom, which I love my parents so much, because anything that I was like aspiring to do, they were all behind it. And so mom knew that I wanted to be an actress. She knew that was like my goal. So she put me in like acting camp like one summer. And so I went to like this theater camp one summer. So I was like, in my mind, I was a for real trained actor / actress. So I don't know what happened.
Nathan happened. Playing.
And I just went along with it because I liked him and we liked to flirt and we completely like ruined the whole. Yeah, it was terrible.
It was a terrible scene. We destroyed fences. August Wilson would be so disappointed.
But then we left and we was like, man, that was fun.
Yes. I don't remember what our scores was. I'm glad.
Oh my gosh.
But the moment we left, we was like, wherever we ranked, we were like, man, Miss Poor gave us that play. We didn't want to do that play to begin with. We got to pick our own play. We was terrible. We're supposed to pick our own play. And then, let me see if you remember this. So we were just smitten over each other. But we were in 11th grade.
Yeah.
We didn't admit it at that point. And we used to talk on the phone claiming that we were talking about forensics. Mm-hmm. And when we used to talk on the phone, a TV show used to come on at night all the time. That used to be kind of like our favorite TV show. And I was going through one of the theater books and found a play that reminded me of the TV show.
You talking about Mad About You?
Mad About You. We used to love the show.
I thought we watched that like after we officially said we were.
It might have been. I mean, I think it carried.
It was okay. So we started on the phone watching it.
Yes. Yeah. So Mad About You is a show because then.
Do you know they're coming back out?
I seen that.
Yes, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I had found like this little section of a play called Barefoot in the Park, and it reminded me of a scene from Mad About You. So we were like, we're gonna do this. Well, I was like, we can do this. It's just like Mad About You. It'll be perfect for us.
That is too funny.
And we never got to a second forensic meet. I don't know why.
No, and then the school year ended, but then the summer started.
Yep.
And do you remember I used to like make up reasons to come see you, like at your house, and so I would tell my parents I have to go over Nate's house to practice barefoot in the park. And so we had like the little book or whatever. Yep. Be like, we're going to practice barefoot in the park. Yep. Get over Nate's house and we would just laugh and watch TV and joke the whole time and not practice for forensics. Yep. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yep, I do. I do.
Aww.
And so that was but that was only part of that time period because the summer of junior year going into senior year, I also worked at a shoe store. Mm-hmm. And I don't think you knew that I worked at the Finish Line in Rivergate.
I don't think I knew.
Because so there had to be a brief interruption in us practicing forensic
the summer
drama stuff.
Summertime.
And then okay, I see what you're saying. So when forensics ended during school year, we were still practicing, but then when summertime came, we stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, we stopped.
I would come over and we would try to practice barefoot in the park.
Okay.
During the summertime.
Okay. So then one day I'm working at the shoe store and you walk into the shoe store with your brother. Like
around July.
And this is right before school is about to start and you're about to buy shoes.
Because everybody buy new shoes.
Of course. You gotta get fresh for the new school year. You're about to buy new shoes. So we're talking and you ask, are you going to do forensics? And I think that's when you tell me, oh, you need to make sure you take drama. You need to take theater. Mm-hmm. You need to take a theater class. You need to take Mrs. Poor's theater class next year.
Yeah.
And once you say
I'm gonna be
that,
in drama.
Yes, I like go back and start scrambling, trying to change my schedule to get theater on my schedule. Yeah. And then when the school starts, I'm not in theater.
No. And I'm like, hey.
Why you're not in theater?
Yes, you haven't got in yet.
And I keep going to, I was like, hey, something wrong with my schedule. something wrong with my schedule. You need to fix this now. I think I'm supposed to be like, I had been like keyboarding.
I don't know.
I never went to keyboarding. I just kept going to Mrs. Moore's theater class.
And I'm just like, yeah, you were. Like, you was not even supposed to be in there.
Nathan, you can't be in here. And I was like, oh, my schedule's it's about to be fixed.
I forgot about that.
I just tried to talk.
Yeah.
And,
but I wanted you to be in there so bad because I had the biggest crush on you at the time. I'm like, man, you got to at least be in one of my classes.
And she was like, why are you not? And I was like, I'm finna go talk to somebody about this. Right? I'm finna go fix this. Not now, but right now. I'm finna fix this now. But that's when you planted that seed when you saw me in Finish Line. And then you got those Nike Air Max Spectre. I still remember the shoes that you got. But then when you left, I distinctly remember when you walked out, you tried to, you put this intentional twist. You put this twist in your hips.
Nate!
You see the movie? You see the movie Wait to Exhale? Where the Loretta Devine is talking to Gregory Hines.
First of all, everybody know that when you walking away from a guy, you know, they still looking at you. And so you try to twist, but this is somebody that's 17. No hips. Trying to twist, so then it's obvious. Because my twisting is real hard.
Oh, man.
Oh, that was so funny. Oh my gosh. That shows you how much I really like this guy.
Oh man. So we get back to school, senior year.
Yeah.
I'm scrambling to get into theater class.
Right.
Finally do. And at this point in time, we're still not dating.
Right.
We're still just looking at each other with big grins.
So the fall of 2001,
Yeah. And then
19 years ago.
Yes. We're spending a lot of time on the phone.
Yeah.
So by now we're spending a lot of time on the phone. We talk to each other a whole lot. Basically every day.
Yeah.
Basically all night.
Yeah.
This is that fall asleep on the phone era.
Yes, which I so love. I don't even think this generation does that anymore. I think it's all social media and Snapchat and all of this, and I feel like that's an important element of dating, and I hate that. I mean, I guess, times, change, things change.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like that was like a very important part of our dating experience.
Because there's so much conversation that's going back and forth.
Yeah.
And there's nothing to do but talk to each other.
Yeah,
and therefore learn about each other.
Yeah.
So that's the you hang up, no, you hang up.
Yeah.
So we spend a lot of time talking on the phone. And we talk on the phone so much that when we start running out of things to talk about, we make up a game so we have new things to talk about. Where we have the scenario game.
We called it. It was called the scenario. Let's play the scenario game. You ready? Let's play the scenario game.
We'll make up a scenario.
It's so corny.
We'll make up a scenario of, I'm in New York and I have an audition and I'm nervous about it. What do you say to make me
oh my gosh, y'all.
feel not nervous?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. And so that's how much we were talking and interacting over the phone.
Man.
Just constantly.
We would go over songs. We'd be like, what's your favorite? I mean, it was just...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good. That's when we really got to know each other. Excuse me. And that's when I would say I really started to fall in love with you at that point.
Okay.
That's when I felt like I knew that I was about to be with you forever.
Really? From
at
those
that
phone
point,
conversations?
from the phone calls. Not from the library.
Okay.
But from the phone
Because
conversation.
for me, it was in that library. When I heard that keek, I was like...
Oh my gosh, Nate. That was like our first, we just...
I know, but
so was it really love at first sight?
No, I mean... And so this is part is in the book. It's actually a movie reference. But it's not necessarily like a love at first sight thing, but it is if I knew then what I knew now type of deal, or if somebody popped up and said, I'm from the future, and you ever seen Back to the Future with Michael J. Fox?
Bits and pieces.
Okay. So Michael J. Fox is in the present. He got a friend that's a professor that built a time machine. He goes into the past and he meets his parents.
Okay.
And he's with his dad, and he has to help his dad meet his mom. If he does, and he has a picture of himself, his brothers, and his sisters, right? And if he's successful, if he's on the right track, the pictures of him and his siblings is strong and solid. He can see it. But if he's doing something wrong,
it starts to fade.
It starts to fade away.
Wow, yeah.
So because the parents are not meeting, they're you know. So if he was just to tell his dad, that's the woman that you're going to marry and have kids with, his dad's gonna be like, well, no, what are you talking about? I don't know her. I've never met her. You're crazy. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Picture gonna fade away. He gonna turn into dust. My whole thing was the moment that I hear you laugh, if Ethan J. Fox popped up and said, that's the woman you're gonna marry, that's it, his picture would have been solid. I would have been like, that make perfect sense.
Okay.
We done. We good.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant. So you said on the phone
conversation.
If Naomi would have popped up and said, that's who you gonna marry, you would have been like, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I can live with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Okay. That's cool.
Ego, baby.
So we are having these phone conversations, right? We're in our senior year at this point. We're having these phone conversations. We're going through the scenario game, and it is November 5th. Late at night. November 5th.
Oh my gosh, I remember this.
It's like past 12 at this point. And
I don't even know how I was able to be on the phone that late.
That's a good question.
Because you know my parents.
Yeah.
Don't play.
Right.
Like, it was definitely sneaking on the phone.
And we're playing the scenario game. I don't remember what the scenario was, but it was like a how do you feel about me thing. It was 17, 16-year-old type stuff. Don't make me repeat it.
Now, why you trying to put that you were younger than me? I mean,
what?
I mean, you always just say 17.
No, I wasn't. Okay.
I'm just joking. Nate always talks about that.
No, I don't.
First of all, my birthday had cake, so we were both 16. Oh no, we were both 17.
You tripping right now.
We were both 17. Why you say 16, 17?
I would say it in general.
Okay.
Yo.
Okay, let's go back.
That was not even on the forefront of my mind.
Okay.
Anyway, shape, or form. I meant in that age range of life. Yeah. Specifics. Jeez, do not talk about age. So we on the phone talking, and the scenario game is in full effect, and I'm thinking that I have the upper hand about whatever the game is, and Marsha flips it on me and asks, so how do you feel about me? For real. No scenario. But
I think it was leading up to that. Though.
It was.
Like, whatever we was talking about, it was leading up to. It was
definitely building up to it.
Yeah.
It was definitely building up to it. And we also had a code word on the phone that we had built in that meant all jokes aside, in that it says, I'm telling you the truth.
Yeah.
I'm telling you the truth right now. I mean, are you willing to say the word?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
So whenever you say seriously, that means not joking, I'm not exaggerating, I'm not being sarcastic.
Honestly, we kept that code word like all the way through the 9 years that we dated before we got married. Like that was the code word.
Yeah, that was pretty much, seriously.
Now what is it?
Seriously? I'll kill you! Oh, okay.
It's not true.
Okay.
Oh, guys.
So Marsha flipped and hit me with the seriously. And, you know, I had to.
Seriously, tell me how you feel about me.
Yeah, tell me. And I was like, y'all, I said something corny and dorky and, I don't know. I don't know what I said, but.
You was just like, I really like you.
I really like you.
Yeah.
I like you.
Yeah.
So something along those lines. I like you. And it's when we officially were officially dating.
So, we gonna, you know how it is.
Yeah.
We be like, so we boyfriend, girlfriend?
Yeah. So we did that.
Yeah.
And then it was official, like a ref with a whistle. And then the rest is history.
Rest is history.
And then, well, not history. It's a long line. It's even much more. It's a whole nother book worth of things happen, which is too much to even get into. I had a hard time even figuring out where to stop.
Yeah, because we dated for 9 years. Like most people don't date that long.
Yeah.
Period.
Through college.
We dated through college, after college. Once we just started working after college.
Yep.
So we dated for a long time.
Yeah. There are a few favorite moments of early Nathan Marcia, in the early Nathan Marcia era. One of my favorites were that we kept a journal together.
Yes.
You would write an entry, and then I would write an entry, and then you would write an entry, and I believe that it's at your parents' house right now. And you had one of these Polaroid cameras that would take a picture, and it would leave adhesive on the back, and then we would stick the pictures in there, Valentines. We got flowers. Take a picture of it with the flowers. And
did Ethan ever see that?
He doesn't even know that exists.
Oh my gosh, that's so precious. That is priceless. If I find it, I have to. I don't know what I do. I don't know if I'll share it with anybody.
Knew that existed either.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Yeah.
We were keeping a diary.
People don't do that. People don't do that no more.
Definitely doing that.
Yeah. Classic.
19 years later.
Classic.
But so that was one of my just favorite. Oh my God.
What?
Marsha, do you remember our senior year, Valentine's Day? Around Valentine's Day, I think, I had flowers sent up to the school, and the office, went an extra mile to have how they gave them to you.
No.
They cut the lights out. You told me.
No.
Are you
serious?
I was calling. Oh, Mama, I need you to have these flowers delivered up to the school.
I do remember flowers.
So I had flowers delivered up there. And then they got delivered to the office. They called you up to the office. And then they was like, oh, there's something for you here. But they put them in a different room. You don't remember none of this?
Maybe.
You told me.
Okay, I don't
You told me this is how it happened. They were like, oh, they're here in the office here, and you had to go into another office, and the lights were dimmer, and then it was the car. You don't remember none of that?
I remember the gift, but I don't remember the lights going out.
You don't remember the office giving them? I was just handing it. Here you go.
Yeah.
That killed the whole story.
No, I'm sorry.
No, if you don't remember it, then it's I just got a weird memory.
I do remember the flowers in the car, dog. Why are you doing? Nate, obviously your memory is excellent because you put all these stories together in this book and
Yeah, I sit there digging through the deepest, darkest trenches of my memory.
Well, I remember something that happened in our senior year while dating, and it's still in the time period, so I'm going to share it.
Okay.
April 1st.
What?
April 1st, 2002.
Okay.
We decided to play the ultimate April Fool's joke. Do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
Oh my gosh, y'all. So, me and Nate like joking, period. But at this point, we are officially a couple. We walk around the hallways together. The same thing that high school sweethearts do.
Right.
And so everybody know that we tight. Nate comes to see me, and this is probably going into like probably the next podcast or book or whatever.
Right.
He comes to see me like in gym class and stuff like that. Like anytime we could spend time together, we do. So April comes around. We was like, man, wouldn't it be cool to play like an April Fool's joke
on Mrs. Poor?
On Mrs. Poor. And we like, yeah, that'd be cool, whatever. And so because she hooked us up, she's the matchmaker. So you know, we like, let's play this April Fool's joke.
Keep in mind, we're terrible actors.
We are terrible actors.
Together.
No.
Marcia's a good actor.
I'm a good actor. So anyway, let's play the April Fool's joke that we have actually broken up. And so we like to pull this off. We have to like come up with a reason why we broke up. We have to like fight throughout the day. We have to like act like we hate each other for it to be believable.
And not only do we fight throughout the day, we plan the fights to like when Mrs. Poor is walking around the corner.
Like doing a,
Then we fight and then we go like our separate ways so she catch the tail end of the fight.
So at first she doesn't believe it, but then because like we carry it out throughout the whole day, she starts believing it.
And I think it's because first she's really adamant that it's not true.
Yeah.
But Darren Hayes sees the fake fight and is thoroughly convinced.
Oh my God.
The relationship is ended and he starts having a meltdown.
Yes. So we have a friend from high school who, honestly, I think a lot of people like really, like the fact that we was together.
Yeah.
That we was high school sweethearts. Darren really enjoyed, like, just, oh man, Marcia.
Yeah.
He sees us having a fight. He's like, that's impossible.
Yeah.
I know you guys are not for real breaking up. We are like fighting like we have broken up. He's like completely upset, right? Like
he's a funny guy too. But
he's a funny guy.
What? Nate, what happened?
Oh my God.
And I think his belief in it slowly started to convince
Mrs. Poor. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she didn't believe it from there.
She might have just been entertaining.
Yeah.
She did watch it.
But it was a lot of other people that believed it though. So, because I don't think we told anybody that it was a joke until the end. Yeah. But that was so funny. Yeah. I had to share that one.
That was a good one. That was a real good one. And
we may have wrote it in the journal.
Yeah, we probably did. Probably got.
I'm gonna look for that over Christmas break. I'm gonna look for that.
And like in the same era of that journal, we were in a program at Pearl-Cohn that used to do a lot of good programs, but it also used to go on spring break trips called I Have a Future. Really good program. We used to go on spring break trips, and on one of those trips, I had bought you a teddy bear that we end up naming Sugar Plum.
Aww.
And
did I hit something on here, Nate?
No, I didn't do that. That we ended up naming Sugar. Yes, we named the bear Sugar Plum.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and we actually still have that teddy bear.
Yeah,
it's upstairs.
Yeah,
and sometimes like I see Naomi with it and stuff like that. And like Ethan used to have it. And neither of them know, like, the bear is like 19 years old.
Sugar Plum.
It's like their older brother who can drive and shit, like being in college.
He's been to college with us.
Yeah.
I mean, gosh, Sugar Plum's been around. Yeah. This was before Build-A-Bear ages. Yeah. Like this.
It's a high quality teddy bear.
It is for 19 years. Yeah.
No stuffing coming out of that. Solid.
Sugar Plum.
Made an investment.
I think it's still got the tag on it.
Yep. So, 19 years in the making. Been a long time.
Can't nobody believe. Like, when we tell people we're high school sweethearts, people are like, oh my gosh, really? It's like so rare.
Yeah. But I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. So ever since I heard that laugh, I think I have been locked in and my destiny has been sealed. So I'm so happy.
Oh, thanks, babe.
You're my wife.
Thank you. I'm happy that you're my husband.
Oh, thank you. So we like to thank you guys for joining us for episode 6 of A Poor Excuse for a Podcast. This was Hey Love, and hey, thanks for watching. And
like, subscribe.
Oh yeah,
comment.
yeah. That's what you got. That's why you got to marry the right woman. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell your friends to subscribe. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple iTunes, rate and review. And all that good stuff too.
Yeah, there you go.
Appreciate it. Yeah. All right, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace.